All right, ladies and gentlemen, to start off this program, I think we got to get into a little bit of baseball, a little Midwest baseball. We need to talk about how my beloved, my cherished, my favorite team in the world, the Chicago Cubs, made a big signing in free agency last week. They brought in former 2019 NL MVP and former Dodger. Don't know why I said former twice, but we're going to roll with it. Cody Bellinger on a 1-year, $17.5 million contract. Now, for those of you that don't know Belsky, I'm calling him Belsky. I don't even know that's a real... I don't even know if that's a real nickname. Mr. Bellaruni, I'm just going to make up funny names the rest of this segment. I don't care. Like I said, former MVP. He had a very monster year. I don't know why I closed his profile on my phone. I'm not a smart, as many of you know, I'm not a smart person. Here we go. 2019, he put up a pretty good stat line. 305 batting average, 47 homers, 115 RBIs. Not something to scoff at. Those are some pretty MVP-worthy numbers, if I do say so myself. Now, this obviously doesn't take into account any defensive metrics. Again, not smart enough to understand defensive metrics. I'm going by the offense here, and it looks pretty solid. But the 3 years after that, not so solid. 3 years after that, batting average-wise. Now, I know this is going to take into account 2020, the pandemic year, shortened season. I get it. Like, get off me. But when you look at these numbers, it still doesn't look good. He put up a 239 batting average in 2020, 165 in 2021, 210 in 2022. Home runs wise, he goes 12, 10, and 19 respectively. RBIs wise, 30, 36, and 68 respectively. Just goes down the list there. Kind of a fall from grace from his MVP year, if I do say so myself. Now, why am I talking about Cody Bellinger? Why am I talking about this besides the fact the Cubs are in the Midwest? It's because I think this contract kind of sucks. Like, personally, some baseball purists out there might look at it and might listen to me and go, Kellen, you're a fucking idiot. And yeah, they would be right. I am an idiot. But those 3 years, they don't look like something I would pay $70.5 million for. Now, I get it. The Cubs are in a rebuilding year. All their pieces from 2016 are gone. Like, Rizzo, Bryant, Javi, Contreras just went to the fucking Cardinals and we couldn't trade him, and we couldn't re-sign him for some reason, so we just let him walk to a rival. Don't get me started on that shit. But $17.5 million, that's like star money. That's like shit where if you're bringing in somebody actually good, that's going to headline your franchise. Now, could Bellinger turn it around and come back to somewhere near his 2019 form? Sure. Could we re-sign him? Possibly. Who knows? But I personally, if I'm throwing him a flyer, which I agree with, side note, I agree with like throwing the guy a flyer, see what he can do, see if he can get out of this slump, and then maybe re-sign him later. I'm signing his ass to $8 million. I'm signing, there's no shot he's getting double digits out of me if I was a GM. His ass would be signed to $8 million. That's as much as I'm giving up for him on a 1-year deal until he can prove something. Now, if he wants 17.5, I would have signed him to 2 years. If he wants to come for 3, sign him 24 mil, 25 mil, whatever 8 times 3 is. But $17.5 million for 1 year, that's a little extreme. To me, that's one of those contracts where, A, again, flyer thing, you want to throw him a flyer, but B, you need a face. You need a face of this franchise to try to sell tickets while you're rebuilding this squad, while you're getting rid of dead money, while you're doing this, all the GM bullshit. You need something. And $17.5 million is that something that gets you something to sell. Because if you don't have something to sell after Wilson just walked, the business side of this whole operation is going to just crumble. Because this team's gonna be great. This team's going to suck. Has no names on this team besides maybe Kyle Hendricks and a few others I can't even think of. The fact, again, side note, again, side note, I feel like I have ADD now and everybody has to just listen to my bullshit. But you know what? Side note. If there's anybody else from like 2016 that's still on this team besides Kyle Hendricks, and I can't think of them, then they obviously don't have the name value that Cody Bellinger does. That's just my thought. But anyway, in closing, I don't know where the fuck this team's gonna go. I don't know. I hope Cody comes back to form. I hope he can stay with the team. He's a good young player, very versatile. Play outfield, this, that, whatever. It just kind of helps bring the team together. Puts us in the right direction as a franchise. But did we waste money on him for a year where he could walk next year if, again, he does come back to form or somewhere near form? Yes. But you know what? What do I know? I'm just a guy from the Midwest with a beer and a laptop trying to make sense of this fucking world.